Clearing fractions is math magic, and that is why I like it. I don't like fractions. I like to be able to get rid of them. So here's our problem. 3/7 x minus 13/4 equals 3/4. We could solve this in fraction form, but it would be a big headache. And probably we would make a mistake somewhere and get the wrong answer. So it's much easier to just to get rid of the fractions, solve it. If the answer is a fraction, that last step when you divide to get x alone will turn it back into a fraction, but you won't have had to deal with it while you were solving. So here are our steps. First, we will still find the LCD. However, we're going to use it in a new way. We do not have to rename every fraction with that common denominator. If you need a refresher on finding LCDs, just do a YouTube search. You will have all kinds of videos pop up. One of my favorite math video providers is Mathematics, so check them out. All right, so we will find the LCD of every term. In this equation, I have a 7, a 4, and another 4 on the bottom. So I am going to find the LCD of 7, 4, and 4. For this problem, we know that 7 is prime. LCD, the C stands for common. So we are looking for a multiple of these numbers that is common to each number, so that each number could become 7 is prime. 4 is not prime, but is made out of 2's. So 4 and 7 have nothing in common. That means the first number that would be common to both is the answer we get if we multiply them together. So our LCD is 28. What do we do with it? Again, we are not going to rename these fractions. What we will do is use the multiplication rule for solving equations. We are instead going to multiply both sides of this equal sign by the LCD of 28. Now this is a whole number, so we're multiplying the top by 28. If I multiply one side of an equal sign, I must multiply the other by the same thing. That's the rule. That's working in our favor right now. Now we need to know that multiplication is distributive. So once I said I was going to multiply this by 28, then I multiply every term on that side by 28. I'm going to pause and rewrite this so it's a little bit easier to look at. 28 times 13/7 x. (28) times 13/4. And here I am trying to leave out my minus sign. And then 28 times 3/4. Okay, we are not going to multiply these. Instead, we are going to remember that fractions are divisions. So this is 28 times 3 divided by 4. Instead of doing 28 times 3, I'm going to skip to 28 divided by 4, 28 divided by 4, 28 divided by 7. So that is my next step. I'm going to divide each denominator into its own LCD. 7 into 28 is 4. We simply did 28 divided by 7. Here, 4 into 28 is 7. 28 divided by 4. And again, this 28 divided by this 4 is 7. So that's gone, and that is 7. We have a bit of a mess, so let's clean up the mess. What do we have left? Here we have this 4, and it was left over from the 28. So we have to multiply this 4 times this 13x. Here we had a 7 left over from the 28. We're going to multiply it times 13. And equals this 7 was left over from that 28. So we're going to multiply 7 times 3. There's still more cleaning up we can do. 4 times 13, I know off the top of my head because this is not the first time I've recorded this video, 52x. And 7 times 13, 91. 7 times 3, 21. All right, so we have cleared the fractions. This is not your final answer, but it is cleared of fractions. Now you solve to find your final answer.